Welcome to Voices Against Violence, a Harmony House podcast to educate, empower, and serve as a voice for survivors. We aim to shed light on crucial issues surrounding domestic violence, offer support, and inspire action for change. Join us as we work together to create a community where all individuals can live a life free of abuse. I'm Charity Jordan-Rex, Prevention Program Manager at Harmony House.
I'm Kirstyn Walker, Assistant Executive Director at Harmony House.
Hi, and I'm Atticus. I am the Community Outreach Coordinator at Harmony House.
And the person who produces this podcast.
If you are a longtime listener, you don't know this, but Atticus is responsible for all of the tech, all of the producing of the podcast.
The music, if you like the way we sound, that's all Atticus.
If you don't like the way we sound,
that's on us.
That is the equipment.
Welcome to season 2 of Voices Against Violence, episode 1.
We're back. It's 2026. We've been sitting around the table talking about New Year's resolutions. We've been talking about filling out bingo cards. We've got some big plans for 2026.
Yes, we do. And I think we should start off by saying it's a big year for Harmony House 2026.
Tell us why, Charity.
We turned 50 this year.
We look great.
I mean, yes.
Harmony House turns 50. That's incredible.
I mean, yeah, it's amazing. Also, the Victim Center is turning 50, and they're one of our really close partners. We share our hotline with them. But it's incredible to think that Harmony House, Missouri's largest domestic violence shelter, we are turning 50 years of helping survivors in this community.
Yeah, it's going to be a great year. I'm so excited about it. If you are a new listener, welcome. Let me just introduce you to Harmony House. So like Charity said, we are celebrating our 50th anniversary. We are the largest domestic violence shelter in the state of Missouri. We're located in Springfield. And the mission of Harmony House is to provide shelter, advocacy, and education to survivors of domestic violence and promote the principle that all individuals have the right to life free of abuse. So with that, part of that mission, part of that education and advocacy is this podcast, is Voices Against Violence, which Charity and Atticus have been working on.
Yes.
For over a year.
Yeah, it was one of the first kind of dreams that we had for prevention, with the idea being, my job is out in the community doing trainings, doing presentations. You're not going to catch everyone that way. Not everyone's going to come and sit through a presentation. And so how can we make that information, that prevention education, more accessible? And the podcast was the result of that, of getting that information out there, accessible to anyone. And over this last year, I've heard stories of folks who have shared episodes with their young people, because I feel like we did a lot of episodes talking about teen dating violence and how to talk to your young people. I heard a story of a professor at MSU who is including it as part of her syllabus, and students can get credit for listening to episodes. So we're part of curriculum.
Awesome.
Service providers who are listening, and it's a good resource for them. So,
well, Charity, you mentioned it being accessible, and oh my, is it accessible? We got our Spotify Wrapped as Spotify creators last year, and Voices Against Violence is being listened to in every continent except
Antarctica.
However, I have a lead in Antarctica. And so if you are currently the person who I've asked in Antarctica to listen to our podcast, thank you for listening today. We are really hopeful that Antarctica gets on the list for our Spotify Wrapped for 2026.
Yes.
So Charity, you've been doing this podcast longer than I have. I started on this podcast in the summertime. So your idea to be able to reach everybody, just reflect in the last year. Atticus, you too. What episodes stand out for you? What are you really proud of that this podcast has accomplished?
So on that Spotify Wrapped, it shows you your most popular episodes by listens, downloads. And so our very first episode back in October of 2024 was a DV 101, just the basics. Because also we wanted this to be accessible for just the layperson in the community. And that, I think, is the most popular, the most listened to episode.
Awesome.
And so I feel like that's a great place to start, getting the basics.
Yeah.
But also some of the other most popular episodes were some of the ones centered around current media. So we did an episode back in April, Courtney Stodden and the predatory grooming of underage brides. And a documentary had just come out, and she was, for the first time, she's an adult now in her 30s, but telling her story of how she was groomed, was a child bride. I think she says she was married at 15 or 16, and how she was exploited in the kind of movie industry, the film industry. That was one of the most listened to episodes. We did two episodes on the Gabby Petito documentary that came out on Netflix last year. That was in May. So those are some of the most popular, and I love that because I love the idea of people. They're probably going to be watching these things anyway, but now they can watch it through the lens of, okay, I understand what's happening, especially in the Gabby Petito documentary. And someone who is a longtime listener, shout out to M, you know who you are, who was like, oh my gosh, my husband and I watched it, and we were like, there it is. There are the red flags that I talked about. They're making it look, and it was so, she was so excited.
Yeah. Applying what she had learned.
That, yeah, she could see that play out in real life. And so I think that's what's cool about those, current event episodes based on those cultural talking points. There was a show on Netflix called Adolescence. Teen dating violence, some stalking. And so we did episodes on that. That was another really popular episode. And so, yeah, I love that we're entering, adding in domestic violence education into these touch points that people are already engaged in.
Already accessing and then being able to connect to the education.
Yes.
Well, and that's so cool because so much of prevention education is about changing attitudes and beliefs that allow our culture to perpetuate violence. And so when you have a chance to be able to have that cultural talking point, it really does, it anchors it right into the way that we're going to be able to talk about it moving forward.
Yeah. One of my personal favorites was the episode that Blair and I did, Red Flags in Reality TV. Bravo Housewives. It's fun, kind of mindless entertainment, but it hits different when you are looking at it from the lens of like, where are the red flags? I'm curious what your favorite episodes have been, Atticus.
Yeah, we've had some really good guests as well. I think we've had from Harmony House and externally, but Nora from the Coalition, I thought brought some really interesting perspectives, and our grants administrator, just so people can kind of see how a nonprofit functions, and Taylor at the Family Justice Center.
Oh, yeah, I love Taylor's episode, demystifying the process of like ex partes and how that works. And
we also have some very wise advocates that came on. Jaylene is a really eloquent speaker.
Oh my goodness. Snaps to Jaylene. Oh my goodness. She was incredible. Tasia.
Yes.
Tasia. And yeah, I want to shout out Tasia and Carly C, because they were my interim co-hosts when you got here. And they both, they were just amazing.
Yeah. Kelsey brought some prep stuff.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Her episode was so powerful. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I could even pick a favorite guest. Because they're so good.
Something I've been really appreciative of, both as a listener, because I listened to the podcast prior to coming to Harmony House, was that this podcast really does have topics for every audience. So if you're a service provider, if you are just kind of somebody who's in our community and interested about this topic, if you're a survivor, there really are there's a topic for you in there somewhere. So if you haven't checked out season 1, you can still listen to season 1.
You
still go find all of those topics that we're talking about and go check those out.
Yeah. And that's intentional. You know, we want it to feel relatable to people really from all walks of life. So go back and binge season 1. Before we talk about, you know, because we do want to talk about some of the things we have planned for 2026. Another big thing that we did in 25, though, was the live recording of the podcast at the Eye Care Breakfast, and our guest there.
That was huge.
Huge. Like, that was so incredible doing that. Yeah.
I'll also say, if you're excited about Harmony House history, we had our executive director on to talk about some of that history.
That's
right. That was really an eye-opening conversation too. Yeah, Miss Kansas 2024, Alexis Smith. I also, we had a couple of episodes where we had guests from the Voices Committee with the Family Justice Center on, and those were, I loved those episodes. Their stories, and what they have to share, being on the other side now for survivors, it was just so meaningful for me.
So Charity, we got to hear a little bit about your work as prevention program manager. And then Atticus, our listeners don't usually get to hear your voice. They get to experience your hard work, but not necessarily your voice. So can you tell us what you're doing when you are, one, please tell us more about your role in the podcast. And then tell us what you're doing when you're not helping produce the podcast.
Sure. So I do the production for all the episodes that don't have video currently. So that's the recording, and like was mentioned, I did the music for us, and just getting things ready for upload. My second job at Harmony House is Outreach Case Management Coordinator. So I work with a great team of outreach case managers. They provide court support at ex parte court every week. They work with clients that aren't in shelter to provide the same case management services. And I also work with our transitional housing case manager, who does a great job getting folks into housing.
He says second job, like it's not this huge undertaking, full-time job.
Really, that's the first job, and producing really the podcast
graciously makes time to produce the podcast. But I'm really eager and hopeful to have more of your team featured in the podcast this year. I think so many folks, when they think Harmony House, they think the shelter, because we are such a longstanding, service here in the Greene County area. I don't know that folks always know about our prevention. I don't know that they always know about our outreach, that you do not have to be needing shelter in order to access services at Harmony House. You can talk to those outreach case management team that Atticus oversees and get some great resources, some safety planning, legal advocacy. So I'm really excited to highlight those things in 2026.
If you're ever wondering how to get in touch with us, start anywhere, and anyone will refer you to where you need to go. So if the hotline's the first place you go, we'll get in touch with you and we'll make sure you're getting connected.
Great point.
I love that. Start anywhere. 2026, I mean, we ended the year, we took that break in December, end of the year, kind of looking ahead, planning, scheming, dreaming about what we wanted to do, some topics.
Can I tell our listeners, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but can I tell our listeners about how I accidentally kept you all in a meeting an hour over our meeting time because we were just on a roll, like plugging away at 20. I was so embarrassed after that meeting because we had scheduled it for an hour, I think. And I looked down and another hour had gone by and I'm like, why did nobody stop me? Like, why?
I don't know that we noticed. We were all like really involved in that conversation.
I mean, they say like when you love what you do, right? Like it time flies kind of thing. But I was like, don't ever let me hold you in this meeting space for an hour over our agreed upon time again. Like we were excited. That just goes, I just shared that story to give you some insight into the enthusiasm in which we looked at our 2026 calendar for topics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There are some really good topics as you look forward this year, so this will be your first kind of full year.
I know.
Starting season 2. Like, what are you most looking forward to on the podcast?
I think I'm most looking forward to, oh goodness, where to start? 3, like they're all a bunch of things are saying, no, pick me in my brain. So I think right at the tip of my tongue is plugging services, letting folks know about all of the services and all of the different roles that we have here at Harmony House. We have a large agency, and I just am really excited for folks to get to know us better in our 50th year. And then there's other parts of my brain that are saying, no, I'm most excited about prevention education. You and I have spoken before. I really just get excited and fired up for prevention education. That's the space that I lived in prior to Harmony House. And so I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about talking to our community partners and how we interweave them into this podcast so that they're getting the platform to be able to talk to our audience. So many things I'm excited for. And I'm really excited for being around for the entire year, like you said, and getting the feel of what that's like for an entire season.
Yes. I kind of can't believe that this is where we are, that we've done this for a year, over 50 episodes. And now this is continuing. This was a pie in the sky dream, and here we are.
That you all made happen. So if you don't know, innovation is one of our core principles at Harmony House, and I just am always in awe of this team's ability to innovate and find new ways to reach our community.
I mean, with the help of another community partner, with the Missouri Department of Health and Human Services, Janae, who gave us the funds, grant funding, to get the equipment that we needed to do this. And so without that, I don't know that we would be this far down the road. So it's really been a team effort. I'm so grateful for Atticus and all of the hard work that you have done behind the scenes and making us sound incredible and getting this out there. You're just so incredibly talented in so many areas. And so I'm really grateful for your work. All of the folks who have co-hosted, all of the guests that have come on. We don't have time to name them all, but all of you were so important in our mission of spreading awareness and education.
And thank you for the listeners. Thank you so much for listening in 2025. We're so excited to continue the conversation into 2026. I'm hopeful that in 2026, we're going to find new innovative ways to engage with our audience. So please follow us on social media. We're going to be asking questions. We want you to ask questions. We're really looking for ways to engage. One way, January is Stalking Awareness Month, and Spark, Prevention Awareness Resource Center, is helping folks learn more about stalking through a free training online on January 15th. It's called Stalking Survivors Speak, What Survivors Want You to Know. So Charity and I are going to be watching that training on January 15th. And then we're going to be having a follow-up episode to talk about the learnings from that training. So if you want to follow along, make sure you register for that free training. Again, that is the Stalking Prevention Awareness and Resources Center, Spark, and they're doing a free training on January 15th.
Love them. They are such a great resource, and they also have a YouTube channel. And so, I say I don't listen to podcasts, but I do on YouTube. But there's so much available out there on YouTube. So if you're not able to catch that on the 15th, do check out their YouTube channel. And there's so many great videos talking about stalking, how to recognize the signs, how to support victims of stalking, what law enforcement can do. There are lots of great resources out there.
We'll have links in the description as well for registering.
Thanks, Atticus. He says that because he'll be the one putting them in.
I can promise.
You ever click on one of our links. And something that didn't get mentioned that Atticus has done is our intro music. That is not just like a sample music that you can purchase. That is Atticus. That's an Atticus original. Thanks, Atticus.
If you'd like to purchase. No.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. It's not for us to purchase. You can purchase it. That's funny. Thank you for just sitting and reflecting on 2025, Atticus Charity listeners. It's what a delight it's been this past year, the section of it that I've gotten to enjoy with you. And I'm just so excited for 2026 with you all.
Catch us on socials. We would love to hear from you. I am so looking forward to season 2 with both of you, Kirstyn and Atticus. And listeners, stay tuned. Great things are coming. All individuals have a right to a life free of abuse. If you or someone you know needs help, please call our 24-hour hotline, 417-864-SAFE, 417-864-7233, or chat 24/7 with an advocate on our website at myharmonyhouse.org. Visit our website or follow us on our socials to stay up on the latest news and events. This is Voices Against Violence. Thanks for listening.